Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 12th of October, comes to you from London. And we are just having a quick look at gas and electricity prices. This is UK electricity and gas prices. They're really following in sync. It's the big news story in the UK at the moment, but we are falling back from that high. This is UK gas, front month contract. We see here we got as high as four quid the term last week, but for the moment we're falling right the way back. We did have a little relief rally to 223. That's what we've done on the 1 minute chart. Remember, if you're trading on the 1 minute charts, that's what you need to do. These targets are going to tell you which way we go next. So if you're trading gas, is absolutely vital. But we'll start by looking at the bigger picture, what's happening in the world. Quite a lot of red on the screen. Markets reasonably quiet after Columbus Day in the US yesterday. So we see here, first of all, we look at the dollar index. That's just rising higher all the time. It's fallen back a little bit yesterday, but on the whole, we're breaking higher, and the dollar looking more and more bullish there. Remembering this is my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market, my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute charts. This is the euro. Euro has been looking weaker against that dollar over the last few months. And if we look at dollar against the yen, we've smashed the 113 level. So this is really showing dollar strength. And it tends to show up in the dollar yen chart before anywhere else. So we're seeing that dollar strength really showing through. Sterling sitting at 135.91, just struggling against that stronger dollar. And against the euro, we're sitting at 117.5. Looking relatively strong over the last week or so. We're just starting to run out of steam a little bit there, but sterling has the upper hand at the moment. Bitcoin falling back a little bit, but still looking pretty strong. We saw last week's big move there on the weekly chart, and we see here how those days of just going higher and higher and higher. 83,000 is still the target. Will we get another target here? We probably won't, because it's not a thrust off a low, but 83,000 is the target on both the 0.5% and 1% log scale charts. Looking at the S&P 500 index, we are just still struggling, of course, and that's going to be key. Looking at the futures, we're going to be opening lower today based on the S&P mini and the Nasdaq down 0.2%. And that means the VIX volatility is kicked back above 20. The fear index just rising slightly, has fallen away in recent days, but still seeing a little bit of an uptrend on that medium-term chart. The FTSE futures down 0.5%, the DAX in Germany down just 2/3%, and the CAC 40 also down 0.8%. We are just seeing markets deteriorating, really. The Japanese yen, the Japanese market down 2/3%, the Hang Seng down 1.4%, and in China, the Shanghai composite down 1.3%. They've got their own energy woes in China at the moment, and that's starting to weigh heavily on markets. Looking at the Sensex in India, not as badly hit, still have a big upside target, some 50% higher on the 1% chart. The Aussie market slightly lower. Taking a look at wheat, that's up 0.4%, looking quite strong wheat. We've got good long-term upside targets here. Don't be surprised to see wheat making new highs. That's what the chart suggests. Gold steady at 1750. Has really been in the doldrums the last week or so, seeing this on the 60-minute chart. And short term, on medium term, we're weaker below the cloud, and the long term chart just starting to deteriorate a little bit as well. Platinum having a better day of it, up 0.4%. Palladium had a very strong day yesterday, but that's just now starting to run out of steam. Now we see the daily candle, but it is still bearish below the cloud. US 10-year yields just ticking higher at 1.62%, looking stronger and stronger. Notice there we've made the low, then a higher high. This is consistent with this move. 169 is the short-term target, 179, 175 are the medium and long-term targets. And really the big thing to watch is the German Bund, which is worrying about this move to a 2-year low. This would be a break of a 20-year trend in the bond market. So that's something that we do need to worry about. Inflation fears, of course, driving that. Looking at Brent Crude, we are up 0.4% to $84. We've got targets on the 1 minute chart, 85.60, 85.30. A little bit of a shortage on the medium term chart, but the daily chart, we're seeing these targets. 88 is the target that we're going for. That was given back at 71. and you really can't ignore these targets. WTI, we're seeing here, we've got 83.20, 87.50, 82.35, so looking stronger there as well. US Nat gas sitting at 5.30, hasn't really recovered after that big fallback of $1 that we saw last week. So we are just seeing weakness there. We've got downside targets 460, 486, 476. So looks like we might breach back below 5 in the US, which of course is counter to what we're seeing in other markets for gas. Coal had a bounce. Interesting to see whether we can actually build there. Chinese demand, of course, driving a lot of this, but we are still medium-term bearish on coal. The interesting thing will be, can we recover? We seem to have found support around this 130 level. Emissions, we were bearish to clients this week on emissions. The chart is still below the cloud on the short-term chart. This is the 60-minute and the daily, and we're seeing here downside target this morning of 57.20. We've got 53.05 and 57.40, so does suggest we're lower, and we've just activated this downside target on emissions of 49, so again we can't ignore that. MBP, we talked about, this is UK gas, looking like you're just wandering lower there. And if we look at TTF front month, much the same. We're just wandering lower below the cloud. We do have some upside targets on the 1 minute, so that's going to be the chart to watch. And taking a quick look at German power, up 2% this morning, but again wandering below the cloud. So a lot of these, and then lots of downside targets on the 1 minute chart. So the outlook this week is not bullish really, and we have been neutral because it's been a bit of a hard read on most power markets. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.